Welcome to Lesson 6E, Normal Shock at Exit Plane of a CD Nozzle. In this lesson, we'll first review where a normal shock may occur in a CD nozzle, and then I'll do an example problem, the case where a shock is at the exit plane of the nozzle. First, a review. If we have a converging-diverging nozzle, as we've discussed previously, flow is driven by P0, the stagnation pressure in an upstream tank. We also have T0, and approximately zero speed in the tank. The flow accelerates subsonically to sonic conditions at the throat and then supersonic conditions in the diverging part. And we'll let PB be the back pressure, and X is the distance down the duct. Recall from previous lessons, if we plot pressure as a function of X, and we identified several scenarios. Case C is the case where the flow is just sonic at the throat, but then is subsonic from there on, whereas case F is also isentropic, but the flow is supersonic everywhere in the duct. We're interested here in cases where PB is between F and C, more specifically between E and C, where E is the case where the shock is right at the exit plane of the duct, so that there is a shock somewhere in the duct, and I show it here, where the flow suddenly goes subsonic again, and our conditions change across the shock suddenly. We had called this condition D. Our goal in this lesson is to analyze the flow through the entire duct, being able to calculate Mach number, pressure, temperature, etc. through the duct, including across the shock. There are two kinds of analysis that we can do. First, for a known shock location, calculate the exit pressure PE and all the other variables like Mach number, temperature, etc. in the duct. The second kind is for a known exit pressure, calculate the shock location. This first one is easy and the second one is hard. It will involve some iteration. So let's do the easy one, case 1, first, and we'll do an example of case 2 in a later lesson. As is often the case, it's best to learn by example. We'll start with the simplest example, namely with the shock right at the exit plane. We give the stagnation properties T0 and P0, and we are told that at the exit plane, A over A star is 3.00, and this is where the shock sits. We're to calculate the pressure and Mach number at the exit plane, downstream of the shock. We make the usual approximations, air and ideal gas, steady flow, adiabatic and one-dimensional, and isentropic up to the shock, and immediately after the shock. I use the word immediately because downstream of the shock, you'll have a high-speed jet, which is no longer isentropic. This is case E in our previous discussion, the one with the shock right at the exit plane. In other words, PB equal PE, such that the shock is located right at the exit plane. The back pressure is PE, which is also P2 in our diagram, and PE, the exit pressure. This is the key to this analysis. First, let's calculate M1 at the exit plane, just upstream of the shock. How? Well, we'll use our A over A star equation at point 1 in the flow, just upstream of the shock. In this case, we have subsonic, sonic, and supersonic flow up to point 1 and then the shock. Recall our equation for A1 over A star as a function of Mach number 1 and gamma, where the flow is approximated as isentropic right up to the shock. Here we know A1 over A star is 3.00, so we solve for M1, and recall that this must be solved implicitly. We get M1 is 2.6374. Now we go across the shock, and again with our previous equations, or using the compressible aerodynamics calculator, the pressure ratio P2 over P1 across the shock is 7.94862, and M2, which we'll call ME, where E stands for exit plane, is just above 0.5, 0.500692. Now I'll ask the students, how can we calculate the back pressure PB using ratios wisely? And recall that PB is equal to P2 also.
I would take P2 equal P2 over P1 times P1 over P01 times P01.
Excellent, Dud.
Thanks. I've been practicing this ratio stuff.
Glad to hear that, Dud. Makes me proud of you. Well, as Dud said, PB is P2, which is P2 over P1 times P1 over P01 times P01. P2 over P1 is given here across the shock, so we plug that in. P1 over P01 is 1 plus gamma minus 1 over 2 m1 squared to the negative gamma over gamma minus 1, since the flow is isentropic up to the shock. And P01 was given already in the problem statement as 1000 kPa, or 1.0 megapascal. This value turns out to be 0.047299, and thus PB is 375.97 kPa, which I'll round to 3 digits and give my answer as 376 kPa. This is the back pressure required to get a shock right at the exit plane of our CD nozzle. Here's an interesting question. Is this value of PB less than, equal, or greater than P1 star, the sonic pressure upstream of the shock? Well, let's figure this out. Again, using ratios, P star is P star over P01 times P01, and we plug in our equation for P star over P01, where we use this M as 1 at sonic conditions, times P01, which again is 1000 kPa, and this gives us 528.28 kPa. This is our value of P star. Comparing, we see that PB is less than P star, which is not immediately obvious. I verified these calculations in Excel, and I plotted Mach number, the blue curve, and P over P01, the dashed green curve. And in my example, the CD nozzle went from 0 to 4 meters, with the shock located right at the exit plane. This is the shock, the sudden rise in pressure, and this value is PB over P01, which was 0.37596. At this location, we have sonic conditions at P star over P01 is 0.5283, which occurs in my CD nozzle at around x equal 1.4. Meanwhile, the Mach number is 0 in the tank, then rapidly rises to 1 at the throat, and then supersonically to M1 equal 2.637 just before the shock. Across the shock, the Mach number drops to just above 0.5, and I hid my curve under here, but it goes to M2 of 0.501.
Professor, is there anything special about where those two curves cross?
No, because these are arbitrary independent scales. If I change this Mach number scale to go from 0 to 4 instead of 3, for example, the whole Mach number curve would shift down, and these two would cross at a different location. So don't let this confuse you as the throat or something like that.
Thanks, Professor.
You're welcome, Bud. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos.
1, 2, 3. That's all there is to it.